Hello everyone! Exciting developments in NIO's smartphone launch and beyond. Join us for technical analysis, market insights, and potential catalysts. Stay tuned for all the exciting updates. I'm also going to talk about some big news that just came out for NIO that could help this thing absolutely explode, as NIO is on the verge of announcing a new smartphone. And this is to be very bullish news for the long term of this company. So I'm going to break down what's going on with the technicals for NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the QQQ, what's happening to the overall market, what you should be watching for, and what on earth do predict to happen moving forward. But before I do anything like this, NIO was down 4.79% for the day, despite the fact that there wasn't really any negative news for the company. It was just due to pullback just a little bit. Absolutely, we did perceive the market undergo a minor pullback, resulting in a commensurate deceleration in this situation. How NIO looked compared to the market, I mean, NIO got this nice pump to start us off right. We were holding up very nice. We hit 16.18 in the morning. We started to slow down a little bit, and then we started selling off even harder as the market began to slow as a whole. But then the question that comes is, how on earth will NIO move going forward? When analyzing the major trend, paying attention to crucial factors is imperative. In my opinion, while the chart may seem like a pullback is still very possible, we still have some very bullish catalysts coming out that are going to help this thing moving forward. I'm going to break down what those are in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about some earnings. Just as a reminder, we have Palantir, Chegg, just a couple of others. For tomorrow, we also have Berkshire Hathaway, which is going to be very important. They're very likely going to be doing well, in my opinion. But then for Tuesday, we have AMC stock, which is going to be a big one for lots of retail ups, and just a couple of others. Then for Wednesday, we have like Disney and a few others as well. And overall, things are looking quite interesting as far as our overall calendar goes. We have the Fed Bauman giving a speech very soon. What he says is going to be important. Besides that, we have CPI coming up later on during the week. But for NIO in particular, we have some bullish news right over here. NIO's first smartphone. The NIO phone is coming soon after passing a major milestone. And this is huge news in my opinion. NIO is set to release its first smartphone, known as the NIO phone, in the third quarter of 2023. They basically ended up coming out with new designs and new information about how they're going to announce this and launch it very soon. They were exploring the possibility of this, and more research was coming out which showed NIO was more interested in doing so. NIO ended up receiving its license to access the internet in China on July 10. This was their first smartphone, which is once again making more and more developments. It's valid until July 10, 2025. The smartphone would be powered by Android, which is popular in China. And once again, very bullish news that has been coming out. As they're continuing to improve their deliveries, what happens is their brand is going to become bigger and bigger over there. When their brand grows, more and more people are likely going to start buying their smartphones, buying their different devices. And I just think that this is a very good milestone for them. The branding of this company is spectacular. And this is going to help them bring in a lot more revenue. This could help them improve their earnings. And if this continues to grow, I mean, we might begin encountering hundreds of thousands, if not millions of sales every single few months for the company, if not every single month in the future. And I just consider it very bullish. Now, as far as the technicals go, we observed substantial high volume selling, which is very natural as we're starting to talk about NIO reject and retrace in a very healthy manner. The short volume is going up to about 65%, so a little bit more than before, and then going down right here. Nothing really changed in our data except the price pairs ratio is holding up still despite the drop. But I do want to note that the overall short interest went up to about 23 million NIO shares being shorted, so more shorts are piling into NIO trying to smack it down. What do I think NIO is going to do moving forward? My answer to that is, with the smartphone use coming out, when morning comes, there's a chance NIO may gap up, retest like 15.25 or so, then slow down again and trade very sideways. I'm predicting something like that for tomorrow, like a gap up then a slowdown for now, because NIO is in a very healthy phase where it's continuing to pull back as the RSI is declining. We continue to observe a substantial reversal pattern that is unfolding on it. Now, if this continues right, if we get this bounce here, then it just continues downtrending. We could be forming like an Elliott wave sequence for it to continue dropping. Part of why I think NIO could gap up and drop is SPY do something very similar. Gap up and slow down as time goes on because we're approaching this unfilled gap around this 442 area. So if I actually pull up the daily chart, analyzing the pattern on SPY reveals its significance on a larger scale. So right here, there's this unfilled gap way down here in this 442 area. And it looks like it's going to go for this gap if we continue to break below our low. So I'm thinking we might gap up on SPY and start slowing down, and that may slow the whole market down. And then don't forget, the QQQ has a tendency of following this trend. The QQQ make its way down to fill this gap at 368, maybe gap up in the morning, then slow down even more, and I still think more downside is on the table. Tesla is going to be testing this 250 area, but don't forget that on the 15 minutes or the 30 minutes time frame, Tesla has this channel that's been stuck and going back and forth and back and forth. We will talk about if Tesla continues to downtrend like this, we might Tesla gap up and then slow down as time goes on. In the upcoming days, we'll be closely observing the test of 250. If Tesla ends up projecting there, more downside could come. If 250 fails on Tesla, it's going to come sinking down, and the chart does look more bearish as we do have that unfilled gap all the way down to OBS, greatly favor Tesla filling that gap in the future. It may take a few weeks, but it's very probable. Last but not least for NIO, I am projecting that NIO is going to gap up. 5.25 should be retested, if not a little bit higher than that. Under those circumstances, NIO's potential decline might become evident. We could get like a retest test of where this previous support used to be, which is going to become resistance around this 5.25 to 5.3 area. I think it's very likely that NIO is going to test this area, then continue downtrending a little bit more, and that's completely healthy. Now we had this bearish divergence on the 30 minutes time frame as well from kind of like a double top leg pattern, whereas this divergence was developing and now it's starting to play out. NIO continuing to downtrend just a little bit in a very, very healthy manner. Now, even if it does downtrend, we have bullish catalysts coming out such as the new phone and other factors like that, which could help NIO bounce very nicely in the future. Also, don't forget that I'm very bullish on NIO moving forward, as we have more deliveries coming out for September. We have other catalysts, but for the short term, yes, some more downside in the markets which may act as an anchor for NIO, dragging it down a little bit, just like how it happened on Friday. And then even if that happens, I'm still expecting a very nice pop for Q4. I think once we get into Q4, things are going to improve substantially for the markets. I think we're due for a healthy pullback, and that's likely going to continue for now before, once again, we observe a very favorable surge towards the upside, a very, very bullish looking move. I think that's very possible approaching the next couple of months. So for now, yes, the market may be slow, just like I said before for the month of August going into September. But as we get to like October, November, I think the market's going to improve big time. We'll discuss a very, very nice bounce. I will talk more about the broader markets in another video, but for now that's what I'm talking about for NIO. I do anticipate a gap up and some downside going into tomorrow. As we move ahead, pay close attention to your support level. So it may gap up to like 5.25 to 5.3, then come all the way back down to retest our 30 minutes 200 EMA at around this 14.5 area, and I think NIO is going to hold around there for tomorrow. That's my prediction. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing and see you in the next video.